I've literally just sat down. I might be coughing my guts up as well because I went for a run today. And it's strange. I don't cough when I smoke or drink whiskey in a dingy tavern, but I cough my guts up when I go for a run these days. I must just be getting old. Where's my mic? There we go. And my headphones in case we do any video. Right, how is everyone? What's the date? And Whiskey Straight Al's in. How you doing, Al? Hope your health's all right. Scouts Orby's in, and Blue Van Man, and This Is England, and Cam Gray, and Gary Carter, and Mr. Maximum, and a shitloads of other people. Davey Parker, how you doing? Thanks for the new photos that didn't look like you took them with a fucking potato. Stevie On, Richie Erickson, Steve C, Jeff Wedden, anybody else, Tommy, Davey Ferguson, The Sash, Jim Flowers, hello, welcome. It's the BBC Spews Live. It's the 5th of the 5th. Cinco de Mayo here in California. They all love to have a drink. Apparently, it's from when the Mexicans managed to win one solitary battle in a war that they fucking lost anyway. I mean, you know you're a bit shit at scrapping when you're off to have a big party because you won one battle and then you still lost the war anyway. So, not really a good excuse for a piss up, that, is it? Anyway, strange that, innit? So, might take the missus out for a drink tonight. Who knows? It's one of them things. It's quite a big deal out here. I mean, I don't really particularly care, but any excuse for a piss up, right? If the bars have got a drink special, I'll go out on Hitler's birthday. as long as they're selling cheap pints, I'll drink to syphilis. Although, you can't even joke about things like that now. Some woke cunt will screen cap that 2 seconds and go, aha, this means he's secretly Goebbels. All right, I'll drink to syphilis. Let's have that. Here's to syphilis. I remember them saying that to me when I was out drinking in Exeter. This was like what? It'd been like 2000, 2001 or something. Back when it was a little bit slightly more controversial to be gay. Although even was it in 2001? Probably not. And I was drinking in a bar and some bird come in and was like giving out flyers. And I had a little one and I said to the fucking bartender, I was like, well, look at that, 50 pence for a pint. It was like your first drink with your wristband. It was like £2 to get in, 50 pence for your first drink and £1 a pint all night long. And I was like, fucking hell, I'll have to go in there. And the will ass behind the bar said, oh, you don't go in there, lads. Not you, boys. It's a fucking known gay bar. Everybody knows that. And I was like, here, for 50 pence a pint, I'll fucking give the bouncer a handy before I go in. Oh, yeah, another one. Richard Erickson doesn't like the gay stories. He thinks that if you have a bit of banter about tugging a bloke off, you've got an arse like the top end of a welly. Tommy gets it. Joking aside, I don't really know the difference between syphilis and gonorrhea. I've been blessed in my life to have been afflicted by neither. Right, anyway, we didn't come here to talk about cock or sexually transmitted diseases, did we? Of course not. Let's do some news. Big one. I mean, I'm going to have to talk about the American elections again because it's of particular importance, not just for me now living in America, but for all of the free world, as we know, right? Because everything is downstream of America. Anybody who pays attention is well aware that what goes on across the pond affects the whole of the free world. That's why it's not just American hubris why they call the United States president the leader of the free world. It definitely isn't. It's because it really is vital. The power of American culture and military might and economic power. It's imaginable. It's unimaginable how much it affects everybody in the Western world. So it's not just hyperbole to say, he is the leader of the free world, the president. Yeah, granted, at this point in time, it might be a fucking senile, geriatric, clueless, no fucking idea where he is. I mean, Biden was thick when he was in his 40s. Just think of that. It's a point I've made many times because I've always followed politics. Biden was thick when he was in his 40s and his 50s. He was ignorant. He was always putting his foot in his mouth. Everybody knew it. Obama was caught on a hot mic, wasn't he, saying, any job you give Joe, he'll fuck it up. You know he's one of them. You know he's like, even among his own people, you know, like when you work on a building site or something and you've got a bloke who's like well-liked because he's a nice lad, but he's thick as fuck. That's what Biden's like amongst his own people. You know what I mean? Like I said, like the duty thick bloke in a building site. You go, oh, you know Dave. He's a good lad, but if you give him to do a job, he'll fuck it up. He's like Forrest fucking Gump. That's what the Democrats are like with Biden. Well, Obama said that about him. He said, oh, leave it to Joe to fuck it up. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he actually has a soft spot for Biden because he knew him for years. He's in the same party. He served as VP, but he knew he was a thick cunt. And that's what I've said for fucking years. Like, he's thick and ignorant. The amount of times he's bumbled into conversations when he's just had no fucking idea what he's talking about over the last 3 decades. And this is why, when he was young and could actually talk, if you fucking listen to a video of him giving a speech when he was in his 60s compared to now, the difference is night and day. So if he was thick as fucking ignorant when he was 60, what do you think he's now? He's, what's the word? An octogenarian. He's fucked. He's proper fucked. I think it's lunacy. Actually, that does remind me. I'll just quickly have to Google this because it's not a BBC story. Some polling from Trump lately. Yeah, there it is. I was reading it earlier. So this will surprise nobody who's got a hole in their fucking arse and pays attention to the world. It says 3 in 10 people in Jacksonville think that Trumpy won. And it says the shocking survey was conducted last month. People, it's not a fringe movement. And that's why, I don't know if I covered the story yesterday, I might have mentioned it briefly. It's why it's so fucking messed up and despicable the way that the Democrats are behaving at the moment, because you know how I've talked about many times before, as in the real issue I have with Joe Biden behaving the way he has been lately is because he was a moderate for his whole career, and he advertised himself as a moderate. And then when he was on the campaign trail running against Trump, he was going on about being a moderate all the time. Whenever Trump said anything about the far left, the woke left, Biden was like, that's not me, I'm a moderate. So the reason I've got a real issue with all of his platform, and it's pushed me into the Republican Party, even though I've never considered myself to be a Republican, is because it's the most dishonest thing I've ever known an American president do. He spent the whole 2 years, I mean, because the campaign for 2 years out here, which is already fucked. It should be like in the UK, and it's like 6 weeks or something. Because the first thing I think in American politics is, who's doing their bastard job? When DeSantis and Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, and on the Democrat side, and fucking, who else have you got? Like Mayor Pete and Tulsi Gabbard and Elizabeth Warren and Hillary Clinton and everybody else was all on the campaign trail for 2 years. They've all got jobs. You know what I mean? They've all got jobs. And this is why I've got a real problem with the American political system, where they just take 2 years off to fucking run for office. If you were a bricklayer and you said to your boss, oh yeah, I'm getting into politics, mate. I'm actually going to run for the local council. And he was like, oh yeah, well, so why are you telling me? And you're like, well, boss, I'll need a bit of time off. And he's like, oh yeah, well, no, I guess 4 or 5 weeks you'll be a bit more busy. I suppose we can adjust the schedule, let's, work around you. No, I need fucking 2 years. I need 2 years to do fuck all work. I mean, isn't that annoying when you think about it as an American taxpayer? It pisses me off because I know that those people aren't doing any work for 2 years. It's not a small issue campaigning in the United States. They're fucking graft. Well, Trumpy did. Biden didn't do any work at all because he's fucked. He's probably had to change his nappies 3 times a day. But it's a hard graft campaigning properly in the United States. And when those primaries and all that are on, you've literally got a 2 year period where the fucking all these people who have got high-ranking jobs in government just don't do any work at all. Just campaigning the whole time. I don't even understand how it's legal. Like, I don't understand that when you've been elected to a position and you've got a job, like the mayor of South Bend or whatever the fuck it was, and then you just spend 2 years every day you're on the campaign trail saying, vote for me in the fucking primaries, I'm going to be the president and all that. It's like, well, you're not doing your job, are you? What are we paying you for? I really don't understand it. But when Biden was running, his entire platform was built around him being a safe, steady pair of hands. You know, he was like, I was VP under Obama. You know, we deported hundreds of thousands of people. We still had a decent economy. We are still capitalists. He was constantly talking about the oil industry, Biden. He was like, I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I understand oil workers. I understand those hard fellas working on them rigs. Corn Pop talks about that all the time. Yeah, I'll tell you all about the oil industry. And then the second he got in, the first day, he shit all over every moderate Democrat. So he has no legitimacy at all. At least when Trump was running on his fucking on his original platform, Trump did exactly what it said on the tin. Trump said he was going to make America great again and he was going to put America first again. He said, I'm going to fucking talk to China and I'm going to tell that little fat cunt in Korea what's what, and I'm going to put the American workers first. I'm sick and tired of us paying for everybody else. I'm putting America first. So when he fucking won, even if, yeah, he did what politicians do and he lied a bit and he cheated a bit and he sneaked a bit, and that's what they all do, but at least his legitimacy was intact because he told all the voters what he was going to do. Joe Biden did the exact opposite. He ran his entire campaign as a moderate, and then on the first day, he just went, well, fuck that, I'm not doing that. I'm just doing the exact opposite of everything I told you I was going to do. It'd be the equivalent of a British party fucking having a manifesto, and then as soon as they win, they go, oh, you know that manifesto we published? It's all fucking shite, that. What we're going to do is we're going to do the exact opposite of everything in that manifesto. Yeah, you know the manifesto you read, and that's why you said you voted for me? Yeah, well, fuck that. The joke's on you, fella. Because we're going to set that on fire and you're going to fucking eat it. And then I'm going to do the exact opposite. You know what I mean? Like I wrote in the manifesto, we're going to get immigration under control. Yeah, well, now I've won. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite 2 million random fucking third world hairy ass geezers over in the back of a series of fucking tomato wagons and tough titty. And you're going to be feeding them, you cunt. Sucks to be you, boys. That's the equivalent of what Joe Biden did. It should be detestable to all of the Democrats as well. Because I'm saying, 8 out of 10 Democrats probably voted for Biden because he was a moderate and said he was a moderate and was always a moderate and was classed as a safe pair of hands. If you think most Democrats want them to fucking collapse the border and take away blue-collar jobs, then you are a bit of a political extremist yourself, because that isn't the case. Like I keep saying, most people, which is why the woke is such a bunch of cunts and we all have a right, a duty to speak about these commie fucking brats. Because most Democrats and most Republicans and everybody else who floats around are somewhere within 2 or 3 squares on the political compass of the middle. Most people are. Well, when you start pandering to the woke fringe, you have no legitimacy at all. You're like a fucking dictator, because even most people in your own party don't fucking support you. And I can tell you that from talking to Democrats out here in California. And as soon as that, whenever I'm in the bar, I bring it up. I love fucking arguing about politics with strangers. Bootneck loves that. I fucking love bringing it up. Having a pint and I'm like, who did you vote for? You know, sometimes you go in American bars, they have signs up saying no politics, no religion. And I say to her, just go, here, fucking hell, listen. That sign's for fucking losers, ridiculous fucking homos. What do you mean, no politics or religion? The whole point of going to the fucking bar is to talk about interesting things in life. The whole point of sitting in a pub with a load of blokes is putting the fucking world to right, isn't it? No politics, no religion. I mean, I'll tell you what, you can roll that sign up and fucking poke it, because that's what I'm here for. And most people laugh and they'll join in and have a crack. And most fucking people who are Democrat voters, which, by the way, much, much more rare out here in California than you'd think, which does make me think about shenanigans again, because I'll tell you what, unless they just lie. My wife has told me that before. She said I'm a little bit intimidating and some people might lie. Like, I don't think I'm intimidating. I'm not a massive fucking bloke and I'm only 5'9". I'm a short ass. But she said you're a little bit intimidating where you act. Some people might just lie. So maybe that's what's gone on. And they're just saying it, telling me what I want to hear. But I'd say, like, sitting in a bar out here in Central California, I'd say 9 out of 10 people I've talked to fucking Trump voters. And again, I'm sure that'll alarm sad wings, but that's fucking true. Rare I meet people who say, no, we voted Democrat. And when they do, they usually go, we voted Democrat, but we're not down with any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that tells me there's something shenanigans gone on. But can't talk about it, can you? Can't talk about that. Oh, we know what fucking Susan. She's got me by the shirt and short and curly's the fucking slut. So, yeah, can't talk about that too much. Anyway, that poll, I just want to go into a bit of a rant there as usual. But I'm just saying it's bollocks. Joe Biden's got no legitimacy. He shouldn't be doing any of the shit he's doing, and even the Democrats don't support it. This shocking survey showed that 29% of them believe Biden was not the actual winner. And a predictable partisan break emerged in the results. 65% of the Republicans surveyed believe he won among voters without party affiliation. That number drops. So even 20% of people that haven't got a party affiliation think that. So it's massive amounts of people. And that's why it's so detestable. And why have I brought this up? Because yesterday, Biden, being a sham, a shell of a man who doesn't know where he is and is just taking direction from other people, Biden said the MAGA crowd are the worst sort of terrorist groups ever in the United States, which prompted Tulsi to fucking torture him. Again, and I love Tulsi because she's a fucking normal, moderate Democrat. She tortured him. In fact, shall I put her on? I do like Tulsi. Hopefully the sound will work. Here we are. Let's put her on. Let's put her on. I'll drink some tea. Not just millions of Americans, tens of millions of fucking... Here we are. Tulsi Gabbard tortures President Biden for essentially calling millions of Americans terrorists. It's not Biden. It's whichever war commie fucking rat is writing his speeches for him.
You're the guy with the gun.
Is that working?
The person
sound
who
never
do anything
fucking works
to protect
on
the ones you love.
On the Fox
but did you know that you could go to jail simply for doing the right thing?
When you look at the president of the United States of America calling millions of Americans
Tulsi Gabbard tortures
essentially
President Biden for
terrorists,
essentially
people who
calling them
politically opposed him or voted against him. He's calling them terrorists in an attempt to intimidate them into silence. And we know that
no, it's for some reason it's the Fox website. It never works.
Former
Congresswoman
Tulsi
days.
Gabbard
Anyway, well, I'll read it then.
Biden for
I don't have
MAGA
as
crowd
pleasant
as most
a
extreme
tone as
political
Tulsi.
organization that's
Says,
existed in recent American history.
When you look at the President of the United States of America,
Tulsi Gabbard,
calling
when you look at the President of the
Americans
United States of America calling millions of Americans essentially terrorists, people who
he's calling them
politically
terrorists
opposed him
in
or
an
voted
attempt to
against him,
intimidate them
he's
into
calling them
silence.
terrorists
And we
in
know
an
this
attempt
because
to
we've heard this
intimidate them
before
into
from both
silence.
him and his
And
attorney
we know
general.
this because we've
remember
heard
when
this
his
before
AG
from
said,
both him and his
you
attorney
know, anyone
general.
who holds
You
extremist
remember
or
when his attorney general said, you know, anyone who holds extremist or anti-authority views will be targeted for investigation and potential
So he's
prosecution
essentially
by their
saying that
domestic
this
terrorist
quote-unquote MAGA
So he's
crowd
essentially
are
saying
worse
that
than
this
terrorists.
quote-unquote
This
MAGA
is
crowd are worse
outrageous.
than terrorists.
And so for every American who's
This is
watching,
outrageous.
every American who's seen this, no
And
matter
so
how
for
you
every
feel
American
about the
who's
MAGA
watching,
crowd,
every American
this is an
who's seen this,
authoritarian
no
assault
matter
on
how
our
you feel
freedom.
about the
We
MAGA
need to
crowd,
stand together
this
very
is an
strongly against
authoritarian
this
assault
attempt
on our
to
freedom.
intimidate and silence anyone who holds
And we
political
need to
views
stand
that are
together very
different from
strongly against
or
this
opposed
attempt
to
to
what this
intimidate and
president
silence
has his
anyone who holds
administration
political
furthering.
views that are different from
Fucking
or
disgraceful.
opposed to what this
That's
president
that's
and his
a
administration are
Democratic
furthering.
congresswoman or former congresswoman. Just think about it. This is what I'm trying to get across to you. These fucking... All right. Oh, there's an echo on there. See, I'm not getting the sound. Hang on. I'm not getting the sound in my fucking... All right, I'll have to put the page back on. Yeah, there's no sound in my ears. Fox News doesn't like my fucking setup. I don't know why. Let me just find a fucking web page for you again. Right, I'm not going near Fox News. It fucking kills me. It kills me. So, yeah. So the short version is Joe Biden's speechwriter, who said that the MAGA crowd are the most contemptible fucking Americans out there. These people have just called 81 million people. Tulsi didn't do it justice, because you can't differentiate between Trump voters and the MAGA crowd, because that was his whole platform. So basically, when he says the MAGA crowd are the most extreme political group in US history, this is a country that's just seen riots en masse by Black Lives Matter activists. When you call these people the most extreme political group in US history, well, there's jihadi political groups in the United States. There's fucking extremists who think it's acceptable to physically assault and murder people. So when he comes out with this type of rhetoric, he's aiming it at 80 million fucking people. And it's contemptible. Let me put that one on. Something what he actually said. It was Joe Biden called Donald Trump's MAGA crowd the most extreme political group in US history. I mean, how fucking mad's that? The 79-year-old president won the White House in 2020, promising to turn a page on the breathless Trump era. But Biden's now changed his tune. Of course he's changed his fucking tune. Of course he's changed his tune. What have we just been talking about? Don't compare me to the Almighty. Compare me to the alternative, Biden said last month on a trip to Washington State. The MAGA crowd, this is quoting him, this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history. Really? All the groups you can pick from. You've had like the Black Panthers and the fucking KKK. You've got the fucking CARE and the American Islamic fucking groups that apparently had a party when 9/11 went off. Think of that. There's groups out here, political organizations, that had a party when 9/11 went off. A bunch of fucking Allen's snack bar boys flew fucking jet planes into fucking the Twin Towers, killing thousands of innocent people and women and children. And they were having a party about it, going, get in. And then this fucking dirtbag calls everybody who voted for Donald Trump the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history. I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you? So basically, the man is away with the fucking fairies. Joe Biden is as mad as a box of frogs. And I just want to bring this up to reiterate the point that I keep making about Russia, about Ukraine, about statues and book burnings, about every single major conflict in human history from the perspective of a soldier that understands the art of war and the history of warfare. And the point is this. As I've said many times, the whole reason educated people always reach out across the aisle when you have a defeated enemy and treat them with reverence is because clever people know that the only way to unite a nation and free yourselves from the endless burden of unending fucking war is to make your enemies your friend. And I've talked about how I love to go. I've talked about before how I love to use the historical analogies, historical fantasy as well. The Trust the Legend books where the leader of the enemy has a massive funeral for him when he dies. And all the warriors line up and fucking salute him. And some of them say to him, why are we doing this? Why are we saluting an enemy? And he says to them, like, you don't understand. Like, this man transcended race because he always did what he thought was right. And you can be the enemy, but you can still be a man of honor. There's heroes on both sides in a conflict, isn't there? Just think about it logically. Think about it from the standpoint of a working man who so often finds himself at the center of a conflict because of the efforts of the rich and the powerful. There's heroes on both sides. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about fucking Star Wars, right? There's heroes on both sides. Even though the Empire are the baddies, obviously it's a fiction film, although, well, not to me, but being a fucking imperialist wanker, I think the whole world would be a better place if the imperial powers in about 1830. If America, France, Britain, and Portugal and Spain had just said, right, lads, let's divvy the whole fucking world up into 5, and we'll just take over the whole fucking lot. I was a redcoat before being a redcoat was cool. I'm a Western snob and an imperialist, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Empire. But what I'm saying is, you get heroes on both sides. You get the stormtrooper pinned down by the rebels who runs across open ground, risking life and limb to save the life of his comrade, his brother in arms. That's noble. That's noble behavior. And we understood that in every single conflict until the commie rats took over. Because their attitude is, when your enemy's losing, grind them into powder. This is why everywhere their detestable ideologies went, it has created mountains of skulls wherever it's gone, because it's a detestable, lamentable, vile ideology that treats, that encourages resentment and bitterness and spite and hatred, and says, when your enemy's low, crush them, humiliate them every chance you get. And that is the point I'm trying to make with this detestable fucking shit from the worst president in American history, who's changed his tune. And he doesn't even refuses to mention his name, the former guy, he calls. So just think of that. This is what I'm talking about. 81 million people voted for Donald Trump. And this detestable piece of shit, this self-serving parasite that has fucking leached off of his betters for his entire career. At least Trump, again, yeah, he got his money off his dad. Yeah, he's a spoiled rich kid, but at least he's got his money off his fucking dad. This fucking worm, this detestable parasite that I'm jabbing my finger at here. Not you, him. This detestable parasite will refuse to even name him because he's taking pleasure in grinding him into dust because he can. Pelosi and Biden and all of them, they don't understand that simple, basic fact. And the only reason you have a United States of America is because cleverer people than these fucking maggots used to run this country, and they understand the principle of honoring the enemy. When you have a civil war, you come together at the end of it and you honor the glorious dead of both sides, and you allow them the heroes, and you say, you know what? General Lee might have been on the opposite side of this one, but he was a great man and he was a great leader. And yeah, you can slam the ones that weren't, the ones that commit the war crimes, the crazy bastards that seem to glory in torture and misery. But there are heroes on both sides because there's people who understand the notion of honor and dignity and discipline. And they forge their own paths throughout history, fighting, yes, and killing when they have to, but doing the best they can to live by a code. And there was people on the wrong side of the Civil War that did just that. So smarter people than this maggot make that point, and they go to places like fucking Alabama and Kentucky and Tennessee and fucking Mississippi, and they say, we respect and honor your fucking heroes because whether they're on the right side or the wrong side of it, the conflict, so many of them gave their lives fighting for what they believed in, and they were noble, decent people, and they treated their enemy with respect, and they didn't glory in killing or torture or maiming, and they didn't commit war crimes, and they didn't rape women and stove babies' heads in. But Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck fucking Schumer and this generation of walking, sloshing toilets don't know anything about history. And the worst of it are the woke, aren't they? Because as I've said, the woke don't know anything about antiquity. That's why they seem to think America's uniquely evil. They think Britain's uniquely evil because they don't know anything about antiquity. The woke don't know anything. Talk to a fucking communist nowadays, like AOC, and mention the rape of Nanking or the Ottoman Empire. They don't know what you're talking about. Askia and Songhai, the slave-taking fucking the empire builders of Africa. They don't know any of these people. They haven't got a fucking Scooby-Doo. So they think America and Great Britain are uniquely evil because they've been brainwashed and they don't know anything about history. And all this is going to get refusing to name the former fucking president, refusing to even say his name like he's fucking Voldemort or Sauron or some shit, is disgraceful. It is fucking disgraceful. Trump doesn't do it again, does it? He mocks Joe Biden. He mocks Joe Biden, calls him a fucking idiot. He doesn't say, I refuse to even speak his name. So, makes me, he's so evil, he's so detestable. He doesn't say every single one of the 81.5 allegedly Biden voters is uniquely evil and despicable and detestable. Hillary Clinton, a basket full of deplorables. What do you fucking think they're going to do when you call them a basket of deplorables, you fucking wizened, grizzled, honking old walnut with a face? What do you think they're going to do? How do you think people are going to respond to being talked to like that, you fucking hag? It just astounds me. Because I'm just a normal working class bloke who reads the papers a bit. And I can see it all as clear as day, as clear as day. It's like they want another civil war. It's like they want every single fucking Republican voter to just go, you know what? Okay, you despise us. You despise our wives and our children. You want to grind us into dust. You want to burn our history books. You want to torch our libraries. You want to pull down our statues. You refuse to even name the former president. Let's just kill each other, right? If democracy doesn't work, let's just kill each other. This is the lessons of history. The only reason we stopped fucking murdering each other and embracing our former foes, we've had it in England's English Civil War, the Roundheads and the Cavaliers. It's happened in every country, on all around the fucking world. Brother kills brother. And then at the end of a hard fight, you go, you know what? This isn't getting us anywhere. We need to come to an accord. And I need to eat a bit of a shit sandwich, and you need to eat a bit of a shit sandwich. And then we can finally come together and put it to rest. That's what happened with the British monarchy. Yeah, you had loads of loyalists who wanted the crown. You had loads of Republicans who wanted the fucking opposite. So they come to an accord because we're not getting anywhere with all this murdering. So we honour each other and we honour our heroes and we honour our fall and we say, let's have a nice happy medium. It's what they've done in Northern Ireland. Nobody's particularly happy. The IRA didn't get exactly what they wanted. The Brits didn't get exactly what they wanted, but everyone said, you know what? This is better. But these thick cunts, which is ironic that I bring up Northern Ireland because this fucking twat here, how many times did he put his foot in his mouth talking about Ireland? The man doesn't know a fucking thing about Northern Ireland. If you would say plantation of Ulster, you'd go, what? Who? Where's that? Who's he? Who's plantation of Ulster? They don't know anything. So it's ironic that I bring that up because these cunts that are fucking up the world are doing this because they don't understand war, they don't understand honour, they don't understand conflict, and they don't read history books. And if you're just going to fucking say, oh, you won the election, well, nah, you didn't really win the election. Now we're just going to spend 4 years prosecuting people, getting in the way, using the deep state to foil the obvious winner of the 2020 election, not the fucking 2020 election, the 2016 election. We had a winner. Everybody knows we had a winner. The Russian dossier was, and we now know this is all factual, so Susan, you fucking spunk Bowser, leave me alone. We now know that the dossier was paid for by Christopher Steele, dodgy, foreign, fucking wanker, British wanker, who fucking was paid by the opposing party in the electoral race, Hillary fucking Clinton, to fucking create a sexed up dossier that was all lies, and they had a 3-year investigation, and they had $100 fucking million and 1,000 federal agents, and they couldn't find anything. So that is an extension of this. It was 4 years refusing to accept the results of the election, and now it's going to be 4 years slurring and spitting at and crushing into the dust anybody who voted for the other guy. His words, not mine. That's how you get a civil war. That's how you get people saying, right, no point in accepting election results. You didn't, so why should we? Again, it's lunacy that keep going on about January 6th. You spent 4 years denying the results of an election. And then when your side won, because one leads to the other, funny old thing, you spent 4 years denying an election. And then when your side won, you expected the fucking MAGA boys to go, okay then, bye Joe, you definitely won, see you later. How's that going to work? Again, are you a fucking idiot? You have to be a fucking idiot to think it's going to go any other way. 4 years denying the election result. And then January 6th rolls around and you go, cheers, lads. And they're just going to go, fucking, yeah, you won. Really? Do you understand anything about human fucking nature? Again, I am not. Why do I even need to say it? You know what? I'm not even going to do it. I was going to say I'm not in any way saying it was okay on January 6th, but I don't even need to say that now because I hate that. I hate how nowadays everybody goes like, oh, I'm not racist, but, and then says something that isn't fucking racist anyway, and anybody who's normal, human, knows it wasn't. Why do we have to preface everything? I hate the way people now go, speaking as a gay man, I don't give a fuck. I don't have to preface it. So I don't even fucking care. January 6th was always going to happen because you couldn't spend 4 years denying the last election. So for you to be all surprised when the fucking opposing side, funny old thing, deny your election after you just spent 4 years doing the same, you're a fucking idiot. You've got the IQ of a fucking shoe. Which makes me think, again, the conspiracy theorists are right, because it seems to me that they can't be this stupid. It has to be by design. It has to be. But speaking of, it's ridiculous, isn't it, Gary? It is. I'm sick of people. Oh, speaking as it's like you want to say something negative about Britain, so you have to preface it with, "Oh yes, well I'm a patriot." Listen, just fucking say it. I'm sick of people dancing around the bastard truth. Just fucking say it, and especially when it's some left-wing weasel like Keir Starmer who prefaces it with "I'm a patriot," but after spending 10 years hating on his own country. Oh, I love Britain, but it's full of cunts and its history is uniquely evil and we should burn it to the ground and fuck the cenotaph and fuck the flag and dig up Winston Churchill and fuck him and bury him upside down. Oh, yeah, but I love Britain. Keir, you are a fucking worm. So words are wind. We can stop prefacing things. I'm not doing it anymore. Oh, we know I love America, but, and then slag America off a bit. Well, just fucking do it. Fuck the prefaces. It's pointless. Anyway, that was a mad rant, but seriously, these people are detestable. It's like they I keep pointing the wrong way. These people are fucking detestable. They want another civil war because they think it'll help them keep onto the reins of power or something. If it massively kicks off, you caused this, Joe. You did it. You denied an election result for 4 years. You smeared and spat at and mocked. You called 81 million Americans scum. Fucking vermin, worse than terrorists. You did this. You did this. And then they'll point to people like me and go, oh, he did a mean tweet. Oh, we've got to ban him. This fucking twat goes on TV and calls 80 million people fucking degenerates. And Hillary Clinton calls them a basket of deplorables. And then they go, oh, yeah, but we've got to come together. No, you fucking lying rat bastard. You're using this terminology to purposely anger and upset the people you don't like. And when you say we've got to come together, you were saying, do as you were fucking told, worm, because I own you. I won, you lost. I can call 81 million of you terrorist fucking slime, and you can't criticize me. So let's come together. That's what you're saying. Don't piss in my face and tell me it's raining, Joe, you fucking gibbering simpleton. I wouldn't let you fucking make me a sandwich, let alone run my country, you thick cunt. You were thick when you were 40. You were even thicker when you were 50. You were as thick as a doctor's sandwich when you were 60, and now you've got the fucking IQ of a pork pie, and I wouldn't let you run a piss up in a brewery. You fucking daft cunt. I hate the man. I don't know how else to put it. I despise him. Not for his personal characteristics, which obviously lying, cheating, stealing, backstabbing, all of that is bad enough. But for knowingly taking the United States to the brink of civil war and mass widespread civil disobedience, I despise him. 4 years denying an election, and now 4 years calling 80 million people fucking degenerate terrorist scum. And when it all kicks off in a few years' time, he's going to go, fucking hell, I didn't see that coming. Why can't we come together, man? Why can't we come together? Because you've spent 8 years being a cunt. That's why we can't come together. You've spent 8 fucking years antagonizing people and not accepting election results and calling 80 million people terrorist fucking vermin. That's why we can't come together, you thick twat. How hard is it? How hard is it? He does. He definitely has serious. He has got serious mental health problems, and he's reading the commie script. But it's dangerous. It's fucking dangerous. Like I said, right, I've said this many times. I don't know which nation's in the worst state at the moment. America, on the face of it, has more hope than the UK. Because the UK is totally fucked. At least in America, this is what I've said many times to you lot, right? Where I've like smugly laughed about the state of the United Kingdom. At least in America, there is an actually conservative movement that's got real power. Britain isn't there yet, which is what I keep saying, why Britain has to get much, much worse before it gets better. Britain's nowhere near it yet. In America, we've got an active movement, and it's not all about Trump at all. It's about overt nationalism. It's working class Americans saying we have the right to put our wives and children before the lives of random strangers from across the fucking globe. That is as simple as I can put it. In fact, I should make a simple standalone video about this because I think I can do it in 5 minutes better than I've ever seen anybody else on YouTube. That's a fact. It's not about Trump. It's not about the MAGA movement. It's about nationalism versus globalism. And Trump's the only world leader who said it. I'm a nationalist. It's about patriotic nationalist people, not ethno-nationalists, not racist, not prejudiced, because the MAGA movement in America is full of black people and Mexican people and lesbians and fucking you name it. It's about working class people, individual working class people in a Western nation saying we are more concerned about the well-being of our wives and our children than we are in Somalian goat herders, Nigerian taxi drivers, and fucking Yemenis, fucking candlestick makers. That's all it is. And at least that movement exists here in the United States. In Europe, there isn't one. And in the UK, there isn't one. In the UK and Europe, the conservative parties are the woke parties. So Europe is totally fucked. Yeah, they've got Bolsonaro in Brazil as well, fair enough, but the Western world I'm talking about, fucked. The only place that's got a conservative movement that is nationalist and is full of tens of millions of working class people saying we care about our nearest and dearest more than we care about random strangers from across the fucking from 19,000 fucking miles away is the United States. However, we've got the deep state is completely subjugated by the woke, the powers that be, the CIA, the all of the judiciary, the Senate, the House, they're all fucking woke. But at least we have a grassroots nationalist movement. Europe's fucked. Britain hasn't got one. Britain's just got woke and woke. You vote conservative, you get woke. So on the face of it, Britain's in a 10 times worse place. But we are on the cusp of we could seriously get massive, large-scale civil unrest with this shit. Another 3 years, 2 years, 2.5 years of this fucking twat. I don't know if we'll live through it. 4 years of denying a legitimate election result, and then 4 years grinding your enemies into powder and calling them all terrorists and fucking scum. I don't know if we're going to get through 8 years of that without having it massively, massively kick off. So we're in the fucking shit across the pond as well. It's we're in massive bother. So there, what we're going to do, who the fuck knows? Shall I do one more story before I bugger off? I'll just get this repulsive fucking sock puppet off my fucking screen. There we go. Well, that's a bit better. Dodged a bullet there. I suppose it is the BBC Spews, so I'll have to find something on the BBC. You know what's annoying about Google Chrome? Now, every single time I type in BBC on my web browser, this story comes up. I only looked at it once. I feel as if it's Google. You know how, like, Google do it on purpose because they want to piss you off? Like, if you go on Google and images and type in straight white couple, it'll show you, like, a black man giving a sailor a wank. Like, that's what Google do, because, like, they do it on purpose because they're a war company and they take pleasure in fucking with you. Douglas Murray wrote all about it in the Madness of Crowds, or was it The Strange Death of Europe? And I tried it at the time and it really was true. If you type in on Google Images, straight black couple, you'll get a black man and a white woman like that with their arms around each other. But if you go on Google Images and type in straight white couple, you will see big black sailor cock. Like that. That's the way Google does it, because they want to piss you off on purpose. But every time I type in BBC now, I get this fucking story. I shit you not. Like, look at the clip of that. Like I said, that middle one, Santa Claus if you fell asleep on the fucking tanning tubes. It's like, why is it sending me this fucking shit every time I want to put it on? Icon. That's not an icon. And that fucking thing on the other end, like, looks like she's wearing some fucking a circus tent. Anyway, let's try and find some story on the BBC that I was going to do. There's a few. Oh yeah, Bill Gates, that was it. So a good one to end on. Fucking Billy G. What a twat. I've got questions for Mr. Gates as well. Look, here we are. It says, so in a wide-ranging interview with the BBC, Bill Gates said conspiracy theories about him are crazy and they're being shouted at in public is awful. Just to prove this is Fox News. Fuck them, by the way. I bet the audio works here.
Well, it's, in some ways, you almost have to laugh because it's so crazy. I mean, do I really want to track people? You know, I spend billions on vaccines. I don't make money on vaccines. Vaccines save lives. They don't, cause deaths. So, you have to say it's a bit of a strange world where there are channels where that, gains a lot of interest. Only recently is I've been out in public, some people yell at me about, that I'm tracking them, and that's an awful thing.
Fucking suck it, Billy boy. So it says, meeting Jeffrey Epstein was a mistake. Oh, really? No, Bill. Let me tell you what a mistake is, right? A mistake is like accidentally leaving your train ticket in your other trousers when you board the train, or we all make mistakes, Bill. Mistakes walking out of Waitrose with a fucking item in your fucking bag that you didn't see and you forgot about it when you were doing the self-service checkout. That's a mistake. Going to fucking Pedophile Island 18 times. That's not a mistake, is it? You wouldn't have done it more than once if it was a fucking mistake. It says that he doesn't like Elon Musk. There's no need for him to be nice to me. Yeah, well, why would he be? Asked about whether he had bet against Tesla, Gates replied, "This has nothing to do with climate change. I have ways of diversifying." Fuck knows what that means. And he said it's fine for me to fuck Tesla because there'll be other people who make electric cars anyway. But then he said, in some ways you have to laugh because it's so crazy. I mean, I spend billions on vaccines. I don't want to make money on them, though. As if he doesn't make money on them. You guarantee Bill Gates had stock in Pfizer and fucking Moderna. You guarantee it. So when he says, I don't make any money on them, he's a fucking liar. He doesn't set up a fucking a stall on his front garden and say, roll up, vaccines, $10 a pop. He doesn't go to Sedgefield car boot sale and fill the back of his fucking Vauxhall Astra with fucking vaccines. All right, mate, £10 each or 3 for 20. He doesn't do that, but he buys $1 billion worth of stock in Moderna when he knows it's going to go up by 10,000 fucking percent because he's greasing the wheels and getting the governments of the world to fucking tell everyone you have to get a vaccine. Have you seen how much money these people have made off it? It's not even funny. I do track the stocks and shares as well. Moderna and Pfizer, the stocks were like, I think Moderna was only at about $40 or something. And then at the height of the pandemic, when all of the government said you have to get the cunt, funny old thing, it went up to like $350, $400. And they knew that was going to happen because they told the politicians to fucking do it. So they buy $1 billion worth of Moderna and Pfizer shares just before the fucking pandemic, before the governments start legislating. Then the governments do as they're told and legislate and say everybody in the world has to fucking have a bastard vaccine. And all of a sudden, ooh, look, this is weird. We've had to buy 350 million doses of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. And now the stock's gone up. Weird. We didn't see that coming. Well, Bill did. And Pelosi did. And Biden did. And all the people who fucking are behind all this shit did. And that's not even a fucking conspiracy theory. So fuck you, Susan, and any other twat who's watching. That's what happened. Check the stock prices. In fact, I'll do it myself now. Fuck it. Moderna stock price. I know, because I've fucking seen it. So, what was it at? 1 year. Let's have a look at a year-long one. Or a 5-year one. Better. Here we go. So there's the fucking stock price. Just for thick twats who don't get it, right? Oh, look at that. We didn't see that coming. I was right. 450 it went up to. So, ask yourself this fucking simple question. We all know how much money Pelosi and all these rich cunts make off that. September 10th, 2021, Moderna was up to $449. And you go back to 2020 when they knew all about the coronavirus, right? And they just hadn't simply legislated because nobody in the right mind thought any Western government would say, all right, you cunts, you have to get a vaccine. Nobody in the right mind would think that. So they probably bought in when the stock was about, when did they know? February? No, patient zero was set to be December, wasn't it? So they were at about 1889 there, and all the rats, the snakes, it was all in the news in America. They all did it. All the politicians, they started buying Moderna, they started buying Pfizer. They do it with arms companies before they invade someone. And they do it with fucking pharmaceutical companies before they legislate to tell you that you have to get a jab. So, 1889. So they all lump in. Billy Boy lumps in when it's 1889. Cheers easy. And then it goes up to about there. And they go, yeah, we reckon. Now the people are starting to get the bit between the teeth and realise that they've been fucked over. And all the data's coming out and all the numbers are coming out. And we know that apparently if you're young and healthy, you've got about as much chance of dying of it as getting fucking walking down the street and a bird with a particularly constipated seagull is going to drop a 2-pound fucking shite on your head from 200 feet up and fucking snap your neck. There's about as much chance of that happening. So what we'll do is we'll lump on selling the cunt now. And then Billy bought in $1 billion at $18. And then he sells $1 billion worth at fucking $449. And Pelosi's like that, sniffing fucking lines off a fucking Chippendale's cock. And she's like, I didn't make any money off it. And this is where we fucking are. How hard's that? How hard's that to figure out? And if you think it's bollocks, go and look at Nancy's fucking books. Easy as fucking that. Right, that'll do you for today. I can't talk any more about stocks because if I do, fucking the woman, the winged terror of Silicon Valley herself, the fucking she-beast mega bitch, fucking head like a welder's bench. Whoa, hear that? I think that wasn't nice. That was someone telling me off. I think Google heard me call Susan a mega bitch. So that's why we're fucked. That's why we're fucked. Ladies and gents, thanks for watching. You can have that for now, you twats. I will see you tomorrow at the same time. Like it and share it for all the fucking good it does. In fact, who cares? Don't bother. Don't fucking like or share it. Fuck it. Set your computer on fire. Bury it. It's not going to do anything anyway. Right. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Cheers.